So you have powers, okay? What else can you do?
I didn't want to make a movie where the special effects overwhelmed the story and the character. That's not my world. It's the first time I've ever done this kind of film. So I wanted the effects to be organic and integrated and subtle and elegant, giving it a very realistic quality, and yet they're very, very effective and interesting.
Get out of this house.
Richard LaGravenese is very involved with the visual effects on this movie because he's not just the director, he's also the writer, he's the storyteller, he's responsible for ultimately everything that you see on film.
We have 500 plus visual effects shots in the film. It's a good mix of basic compositing as well as very heavy CG effects work.
What have you done to him?
Invited him to dinner with the folks is all.
Working directly with Richard in the early stages of the film is really important to generate the ideas and to be able to work on the ideas before we actually go into post.
We didn't want stuff to look like things that anybody had ever seen before. There's a little bit of mystery to it, and there's a little bit of awe to it, and there's beauty of its own.
Get away from him!
Richard Sherman did an extraordinary job of designing a dining room where a tornado had to happen.
For us, the hard part was this whole place had to work. Chandeliers had to swing around, the table had to spin. It was a lot of work, but it was fun.
I showed all the actors and like, this is great, look at that, it's like moving, it's rocking. And Jeremy went, well, why aren't we on it?
The floor is able to spin one way, the table's able to spin the other way. This is one of the most elaborate set pieces I've ever personally seen. So our work was basically to amp the whole scene up, to add all of the stuff spinning through the room, to add the floor looking like it's spinning, to make the camera shake even more violently.
It's kind of heightened by everyone's supernatural powers. So this ends with people being thrown out of the house, literally.
Ridley has to fly out of the room, so we have to digitally put her on green screen flying out of the room and have the whole thing come to a stop.
It's really fun to play on that kind of dynamic.
Just even being on the set, you could get nauseous, so that was pretty crazy.
Oh, Lord. The locket opens the door to the past and to the curse.
The characters are transparent, ghostly, apparitional. That is all visual effects work.
When they touch the locket together, they start seeing these Civil War battle sequences that only they can see. So the effects work we shot, we have these big Civil War moments, and those we couldn't shoot on green screen at all. So we have explosions going on, Genevieve transforming from good to evil. That we had to shoot on green screen, and we had to do animation, we had to add her fire eyes.
What happened to your eyes?
The dark energy really takes over. What we really wanted to do was evoke the quality of having another atmosphere. It's like there's a wind on the battlefield and you can feel the texture of the smoke. The director's looking for a certain emotion, so we give him that emotion.
One of the big scenes that we had concepted out was Ethan is trying to get into Ravenwood, and there is a bounding spell.
Macon has a spell on the whole house to protect outsiders from Lena. So Ethan, he's seeing himself, and he's not sure what's going on. He gets scared, he starts running, and he starts transitioning from the real world into this caster world.
We had to design how this darkness effect was going to interact with the environment and with Ethan. That one was actually a lot of fun and probably the most challenging.
Stylistically, Ethan getting attacked by darkness is very unique. We went on and we shot Ethan acting as though he was suffocating. On top of that, we add all of the visuals. It's a very difficult sequence to put everything together.
The storm towards the end, which is basically a storm that Lena invokes. To get that look, to get what Richard was envisioning, was a very complicated process of CG elements and various look development. For the lightning, Richard was particular about how he wanted it to look, how he wanted it to behave.
So we take the film and then we do all the animation and all the additional processing to the images on top of that to add the effects.
That scene's definitely great. You can tell it's supernatural and you really feel like enthralled in the moment.
The powers are getting stronger. I can't always control it.
I just want the visual effects to accent what's happening and then let your imaginations do the rest.